Good morning, challengers. I am here to talk to you today about next week's power food, which is cabbage. There are a couple different types of cabbage that you can choose from when you're selecting what it is that you'd like to make for next week. There's green cabbage, there's purple cabbage, there's Napa cabbage, there's bok choy is a type of cabbage. As long as it is a cabbage, you can use it and add it into your foods, whether it be stir fries or soups. Cabbage holds up really nicely in soups, which is actually how I'm going to use it for this week. On Sundays, I like to make a pot of soup that lasts for that day, and then at least one or two meals after that if I make a big enough pot. So I'm going to save all my ingredients for Sunday when I actually make my soup, but I want to at least talk to you about the type of soup that I'm going to make this week. It's one of my favorite soups. It's super, super, super easy. It involves some really good hearty root vegetables, and I hope you enjoy it. So anyways, you're going to take, to start, you're going to just saute an onion and garlic, and you can do that right in your pan, in the pot that you're making soup in, with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And then I add one or two carrots, as well as one or two red potatoes, depending on how big of a pot of soup you're going to make. And then for some flavor, for some meat, because my husband's one of those guys who doesn't really like a ton of vegetarian meals, so I usually try to incorporate some type of meat to make my soup a little bit heartier. But I like to buy clean sausages from Trader Joe's. They have a couple different varieties of them, and then I buy them. They come in 4-packs. I buy them, and then I usually just freeze them, depending on how big they are, in 1 or 2 links at a time. So I'm going to thaw that, cut it up, and add it into my pot after my vegetables are a little tender. And then towards the end, I'm going to cut up my head of cabbage. You want to remove the hard white part of your cabbage. So I like to kind of cut it in half, and then in a triangular way, just kind of core out that really bitter white part. Slice it up real thin, add it to your pot, saute it up, let it soften just a little bit, and then add 4 cups of clean broth and let it simmer, and add salt and pepper to taste. Any other fresh herbs that you'd like. Thyme is great in this. Rosemary is delicious in this. A little bit of sage you could add if you wanted to. Any type of those warming fall flavors would be delicious. So anyways, that's the soup. That's the way I'm going to eat cabbage next week, and I'd love to hear in the comments how you plan to eat it. Thanks. See you next week.